joining us remotely. We're going to go around the virtual room for people to introduce themselves, but first I wanted to welcome everybody to the workshop and thank the Moore Foundation for supporting this. And we have a lot of things on plan today to get everybody up to speed at some level to where we are with Worldwide Telescope as an open source project, and to give an overview of what is meant by Worldwide Telescope, and then give some entry points as to how people can get involved. The morning is primarily a lot of push out information from the team that developed the code, and then in the afternoon we will have some more opportunities for some more interactive things. The workshop is meant to be very collaborative, so if you have questions or concerns, or kind of things or the presentations aren't clear, definitely feel free to pipe up and ask a question. I think the way this Google group works is that the loudest voice will take the video, so if you do, be a little careful about interrupting the speaker, because you'll take control over the video, and they'll have to be able to know that's happened. So I thought we'd go around and introduce ourselves first and make sure we say hi to all the virtual people, and then get on to the rest of the agenda. And by the way, everything that is online now is at that I have, and I'll try to keep this up to date throughout the conference, is at the conference website that I think I sent around many times to people. So I'll put the link there to this Hangout in case somebody drops off and wants to find it. And then if the Jonathan and Ron put together some nice PowerPoints that are available there, if you haven't had a chance, you can either see it live as they look at it, or if you just want to pull up the PowerPoints and just keep track of it. But so I guess we'll start here and kind of go east to west, starting in Cambridge, introducing ourselves. I'll introduce myself, and then I'll try to point the camera at different people as they introduce themselves. I'm Doug Roberts. I was involved with Worldwide Telescope, as many people around the table, at the very beginning of a workshop in Chicago in 2005 when the idea came about. I was one of the earlier people to be recruited to write tours for the initial launch of Worldwide Telescope about 7 or 8 years ago, and over the past 2 years I've been working with Microsoft and now with the AAS to help manage the project. And right now AAS is working with AAS, working to do outreach to development communities, outreach to users, and to help the AAS come up with a plan that will be voted on by the council in January to kind of figure out what they mean by supporting AAS, and they'll get final council approval. So anyway, that's my story, and we'll go around the table here. I'll kind of point it at people. Maybe we'll start with this table. Actually, we have somebody new that I don't know, so maybe why don't you introduce yourself?
All right, start with me, sure.
That's a real introduction. Keep going, it's not camera. There.
Okay.
Okay, I'm behind me. Yeah, so hi, I'm Dan Hart, and I work for WGBH here in Boston. It's a public television station, and I work on the Nova Show, so we do a lot of science explanation. I'm a developer. I've been working there for about 8 years, and a lot of what I do is integrate in other systems or work with scientists, and then bring stuff to the web primarily. So, I also do some apps. So we actually have a vested interest in the Worldwide Telescope because we're just starting a contract with NASA and hopefully with Harvard Astrophysics to do some development within this. So definitely moving forward. I haven't really delved into it. I've just seen a couple of examples. But, yeah.
Great. And by the way, Jonathan, on the far side, can you hear us okay? I mean, I'm standing from the computer, but people from the table, is that sound coming through okay?
It's coming through great.
Great. James?
Hi, I'm James Azil. I'm with Open Tech Strategies. We've been helping the WWT project with the process of open sourcing and just kind of turn the corner to be a more effective open source project over time.
I'm Phil Rosenfield. I'm an NSF postdoctoral fellow at the Harvard Center for Astrophysics, and I've been working with Worldwide Telescope in a planetarium, and I'm still doing that, and I'm also interested in getting into the development side of it.
I'm Cecilia Donnelly, also with Open Tech Strategies. I've been helping with the WWT website especially.
I'm Mary Becker. I'm a Worldwide Telescope ambassador. We go into schools to work with kids. I'm based at Harvard Smithsonian.
Yeah, I think we met.
Yeah. And I also have a private company that develops planetarium shows.
I'm Rick Feinberg. I'm the press officer and director of communications at the American Astronomical Society. And if the AAS does decide to support WWT, I'll probably be involved in helping to get the word out to our membership and the broader community. I've known Jonathan since the beginning of this project. When I worked at Sky and Telescope, we got involved in producing some tours and also uploaded our unique constellation diagrams into the system.
We have a Rick Feinberg feature which allows you to edit the constellations interactively, because when we first gave Rick Worldwide Telescope, he by hand edited all the data files in the constellations to actually recreate the Sky and Telescope versions of the constellations, and I thought that was a lot of work to make someone go through, so we built an interactive feature just for him.
Cool. Okay, table number 2.
So my name's Ryan White. I'm the Director of Morrison Planetarium and Science Visualization at the California Academy of Sciences. I was at that 2005 meeting as well. We use the Worldwide Telescope platform in our exhibits and also in our planetarium. And we're very interested in exploring not only how we can maintain functionality within the planetarium and allow for exchange with the web platform, but also in making sure that Earth data are included in the Worldwide Telescope development.
I'm Carl Vogel, also with OpenText Strategies with Cecilia and James. Interested in making Worldwide Telescope be a successful open source project. I'm wondering now what my feature is going to be in Worldwide Telescope.net. So start thinking about that.
Hi, I'm Johnson Peng. I'm a graduate student and previously I do with Elisa Goodman, we're doing kiosks at the Howard Science Center using Worldwide Telescope.
I'm Mark Subarow from the Albert Planetarium. We use Worldwide Telescope in lots of different ways. I submitted the first successful pull request to the Windows client. And big supporter.
Robert Hurt at the NASA Spitzer Science Center, and I've been involved also since way back in the early days, and I have led some of the metadata definition efforts to tag public outreach imagery with World Coordinate System data that Worldwide Telescope was the first to incorporate, so maybe that was the Robert feature that John added initially. And in addition, we've been, the Spitzer and the other sites, we became big users of the web APIs. We've worked with Jonathan for a couple of major press releases for large sky surveys that really can only be visualized in an interactive browser using Worldwide Telescope compliant data sets in the Spitzer Linux 360. And we also maintain the Astrofix website that's a repository for all the currently collaborating NASA and European missions that are tagging their images with the avian metadata, which is a source of something approaching like over 1,000 images that are Worldwide Telescope ready to be placed in the sky. And all of these sites, we have like one button links to pop up WWT windows to display these contents.
Cool. So why don't we move westward from Cambridge? So I know there's some people from the Midwest, Chicago, Champaign-Urbana area. So just somebody from there pipe up. I think Megan's there.
Hi, this is Megan Lang. I'm at NCSA. I'm new to Worldwide Telescope, but my interest mainly lies in outreach and development.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Gaurav. I'm a new grad student at U Chicago, and I'm a new volunteer at Adler Planetarium, and really excited to be here.
Thanks. I think Matt Turk will be joining us later. And when he does, I'll try to get him to introduce himself. So why don't we go westward? I guess everybody else is in. Is there another person? I can't tell who the person. Who is this? Oh, it's Jonathan. Okay, so maybe if people at Redmond can start introducing themselves. Or Becky.
I should, I guess. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, so I'm kind of in the middle. I am taking the opposite approach. I have a developer background in Python and C#, but I'm studying for my GRE in physics to go back to school to earn my PhD. So I'm looking to combine the two passions, and Worldwide Telescope is an awesome tool. I've used the web client, so look forward to making some contributions.
Cool, great. Carlos.
All right. I'm at Arizona. I'm assistant professor of computer science. I met Mark when he was visiting here in Tucson. I've been collaborating with an OAO on understanding and visualizing their star catalogs that they store there, and I'm hoping to learn to use Worldwide Telescope as sort of a infrastructure to do all of this kind of stuff on the web. So this is pretty exciting. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Great. Thanks, Carlos. Okay, now I think we have hit everybody except for Redmond. So, Jonathan, why don't you take it over?
Okay, so, I'm Jonathan Fay. I'm the architect of Worldwide Telescope, and many of you who have been around from the beginning, it's been really enjoyable collaborating with you all. We've, as you know, moved to open source and handed over the Worldwide Telescope source code to open source and ownership under the .NET Foundation. I'm going to go ahead and pass around the room, and I guess we can start out in the back and go forward, but I want to make sure the microphone is picking everyone up on this side. So let's go ahead and see. Eric, why don't you say hello and see if everyone can hear?
I'm Eric Carter. I was program manager for Worldwide Telescope here at MSR in the open source transition.
Could everyone hear that?
I can hear
the camera,
but I see Eric in one screen, but he's not. I'm picking up your microphone, Jonathan, so the video doesn't go to him when he talks.
Because that microphone.
So Eric, can you mute your microphone?
I'm going to mute my microphone.
Oh, why don't you click on that icon?
I can't force him to do that.
Yeah, click on that icon.
Okay, try it again, Eric.
I'm Eric Carter. Can you hear me?
Okay, I don't know how to mute it now.
Just play louder on there.
Okay.
Oh, but video?
I'm going to try to go ahead and just point the this computer around here.
Okay. I'm Eric Carter. I was program manager for Worldwide Telescope here at MSR for the open source transition period.
Pat?
Hi, I'm Pat Hanrahan. I'm the planetarium director at Mount Hood Community College in Portland, Oregon. We have adapted Worldwide Telescope to our planetarium, and I'm very excited about working with my students further with
Do speak very loud because you're very hard to hear now in the room.
Hi, I'm Nina McCurdy. I actually did the reverse of Becky. I did my undergrad in physics and PhD in data science. And in between, I worked with Mark Brown, Ryan Wyatt, and Doug, and I'm really happy to be back with you guys again. And super eager to get back to the astrophysics. So,
Could you guys hear Nina?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe what I suggest is why don't you guys walk up, and then.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Yes. Awesome. I'm Nina McCurdy, and I was just saying I did the reverse of Becky. I did my undergrad in physics, and now I'm doing my PhD in science visualization at the University of Utah. And in between, I worked with Mark Subarow and Ryan Wyatt a little bit, and Doug and Jonathan Fay a little bit on Astroviz and planetarium work. So I'm super happy to be back to Astroviz. Yeah, thanks for having me. See you guys.
Good seeing you.
I'll just try to project my voice as much as possible. My name is Daniel Fjordless. I'm a program manager in Microsoft Office by day and an amateur astronomer by night. I use Worldwide Telescope quite a bit to plan my trips and my photography. And I'm on the astronomy alias here at Microsoft as well, so I heard about this event coming up and I wanted to come and figure out how I could get involved with Worldwide Telescope.
Cool.
Hi, this is Chen Cui from China, from Beijing. I'm working at the National Astronomical Observatory of China, and I'm leading the Chinese Virtual Observatory project. During the last several years, we are working together with the Microsoft research teams and many partners around the Worldwide Telescope. And we use Worldwide Telescope in classes, in planetariums, and we also organize two Worldwide Telescope tools contests. So we are very happy to be a member of the great community. Yeah.
Hey.
I'll walk up here. My name's Ron Gilchrist. I've been working with Worldwide Telescope since 2008. I think I got hired to just build a website from some design agency, and then I joined, and Jonathan was shocked that I showed up with this new website for Worldwide Telescope. But after the shock, he decided he liked me, and they ended up hiring me, and I worked for a couple years on the website back then, and then he called me up and said, hey, we've got this WebGL thing we're building, and we need you to come in and actually make it work with a real web UI. And so I redid the website, and I've been doing the web client and the HTML5 control, and you'll be hearing from me later. I think I have a couple presentations, and I'm still waking up because this is not typically the hour that I like to get up. I'm about 4 hours later is when I like to wake up on a Saturday morning, but I'm doing my best. So hopefully by then.
Okay, Jessica, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Jessica Bauer, Program Manager of Worldwide Telescope Legacy. And yeah, I'm just here to support the workshop and let you guys in the building.
Okay, yeah. We hear John, and I think for some reason, or like this room seems to be okay broadcasting there from your seating position, but if people need to talk to us, they should probably come a little closer. But thanks to everybody for introducing themselves. I know we have a wide range of kind of interests and backgrounds, which is fine, which is great. Actually, the diversity actually represents that we're tapping into different levels of interest, different people bringing different skills to the community. I want to turn it over to James just for a few minutes just to give a little rules of the game for the participation to encourage people to participate, and so I'm going to point the camera his way.
Hello, everybody. So we do a lot of these gatherings where we get a bunch of people who don't know each other very well in the same room, and it's always useful to get everybody on the same page just in terms of ground rules for how we're going to interact and treat each other and make sure we're welcoming to everybody's points of view. And we've identified a few things that we can do to try to make sure that everybody gets a chance to participate and everyone feels like they're welcome to participate. And the first thing that we always tell people is, we're all here, we all like each other, even if we don't necessarily know each other that well, and we should try to evidence that in our interaction with each other, which is just display respect. Display the respect that we have for each other and for the accomplishments of all the people in the room. And just try to put that into your interactions with the other people around the table and who's ever speaking. So in the course of doing an event like this, we're going to disagree about some things. We're going to talk about some issues. Some of them might be contentious, some of them might be technical, some of them might be philosophical about the direction of the project. When we have disputes and disagreements about things, this is probably not the place to actually resolve those disputes. Air them enough to get them on the table so that we know what they are, and then take them offline. Don't end up having one-to-one conversations where two people feel really strongly about something, go back and forth and give their point of view and trade it back and forth. Because then everybody else will just sit there watching the ping pong match and slowly receding from the conversation. So if you end up having a dispute with somebody or a disagreement about somebody, it's best to acknowledge that you have it and then take it offline and resolve it in another forum where you don't have to do it right here in front of everybody. We really would like everybody to get a chance to participate. If we leave today and there are people who haven't contributed their voice to the conversation, then I think we're going to all suffer and miss out on the value of what they have to offer. And what we like to say is that in a group of N people, everybody should talk 1/n of the time. If you are a person who tends to talk more than 1/n of the time, you probably know that about yourself to some degree. And if you are that enthusiastic about participation, we think that's great, and we would ask you to put some of that participatory energy into inviting other people to talk. So use your voice to say to somebody, hey, we haven't heard from you in a while, or it looked like you had an idea and you were about to say something, but then I cut you off. So what were you going to say? So take your enthusiasm for participation and use it not to just promulgate your point of view, but to get other people to put their views on the table. And we think that'll make a better conversation. We'll get better outcomes from our discussion here. We have many different levels of expertise and familiarity with WWT and astronomy and perhaps many other things, software development. We know lots of different things. Some of us have very complex views of subjects, but not everyone is going to be able to keep up with every single concept. If you find yourself using jargon or abbreviations, just try to be aware of that and take a step back and make sure that everyone is on board with what you're saying and knows what you're talking about. If you hear somebody else use jargon or an abbreviation that you don't understand, do not be afraid to just raise your hand and say, hey, what does WWT stand for? You probably know that one, but if you don't, ask. In that same vein, the only dumb question is the one that you leave unasked. We are definitely here to make sure that everybody gets as far along on the path to understanding both the WWT software universe and the project. And if you don't know something, there's probably somebody else in the room who also doesn't know it. And if you ask the question, that person will be thanking you for it. So just ask questions, ask them early enough in the conversation so that you can keep up, and don't be afraid to do that. And by the same token, if somebody does ask you a question, take that as an indication that you need to slow down a little bit and make sure you're explaining things a little bit more. If people are interrupting you to ask questions, that's your cue to just pitch your sophistication to everybody in the room, not just to your colleagues. And finally, we're going to be here. We only have one day. It's a long day, and it's a packed day. So please respect each other's time when we take breaks. And what that means is respect the time band. If we say it's a 10-minute break, please do try to keep it to 10 minutes. Check your email and use the bathroom, and check your voicemail at the start of the break. Don't wait until we say, hey, everybody, circle back around to the tables, to remember that you forgot to call your spouse and arrange for pickup of your kids and run out of the room, because everybody else will be waiting on you, and then the whole schedule will start to drag. So just please, as a gesture of respect to your colleagues, do try to get back to the tables on time, and do try to do all the things you need to do on break at the beginning of the break, instead of spending the break chasing down your colleagues. that's it. That's my wrap on how we all get along. If you guys have any questions or issues with that list of things throughout the day, if you find yourself not able to do it or interacting with people who aren't keeping up with it, you're always welcome to pull me aside, ping me about it, and we will work out a solution. We definitely want everybody here to feel included and comfortable. We want the power of your voice and participation this day. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, James. Those rules are pretty straightforward to follow, but I think that just being aware of them helps us all have a better, more meaningful few hours. And as you said, it's a packed day, and I really appreciate everybody taking time out to be here. So I think we'll turn it over to Jonathan, who's going to start. As I mentioned, many of the presentations are on the website. If you haven't been to it, there's a link in a PDF and PowerPoint format for each of the presentations that are available. So we're at the 10, according to the website, on East Coast time, 10:30 or 7:30 Redmond time. So Jonathan, why don't you take it over with the ecosystem overview?
Okay. Doug?
Yeah.
Sorry. The presenting laptop, I just need to. Is it WWT Workshop?
Yeah, workshops.org.
.org. Okay.
And then there should be a calendar on the right-hand side, and then the more one is the first one.
Okay, and the presentations are.
They're in the table.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. And can you share your screen? Is that the way we're going to try to do it? Or
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen. I'm just getting the slides started here. Pardon me, I'm not as familiar with...
And by the way, what I'm probably going to do here is I'm going to mute our mic on this side. That way we don't accidentally take video control when they're watching the slides. So